The psychology behind narcissistic behavior is more complicated than simply being arrogant, selfish, or obsessed with admiration. Beneath some narcissistic behaviors can exist a fragile sense of self that depends heavily on external validation, control, superiority, or recognition. A person may appear extremely confident while being unusually sensitive to criticism, rejection, embarrassment, or anything that threatens the image they have created of themselves. This creates a psychological contradiction. They may desperately need to feel superior while simultaneously fearing that others will discover they are not as exceptional as they want to appear. One common pattern is the constant search for admiration. Praise provides temporary reassurance, but because the underlying insecurity remains unresolved, the person may need increasingly more attention, recognition, or validation to maintain the same sense of worth. When admiration disappears, they may become resentful, dismissive, defensive, or hostile. Another pattern is difficulty accepting responsibility. Admitting mistakes can feel psychologically threatening because it conflicts with the idealized version of themselves they are trying to protect. Instead of saying, "I was wrong," they may shift blame, minimize what happened, attack the person who confronted them, or portray themselves as the real victim. Narcissistic behavior can also involve manipulation, entitlement, excessive competitiveness, or a need to control how other people perceive them. Relationships may become especially difficult because empathy can become secondary to maintaining their emotional position. They may be deeply attentive when someone provides admiration or usefulness, then become cold when that person establishes boundaries or stops providing validation. The greatest tragedy is that narcissistic behavior can create the very rejection the person fears. Their constant need for control, admiration, or superiority can exhaust relationships until people begin distancing themselves, which may then reinforce their belief that others cannot be trusted or appreciated. It is important, however, not to confuse ordinary selfishness, confidence, insecurity, or occasional narcissistic behavior with narcissistic personality disorder. Only a qualified mental health professional can assess and diagnose a clinical disorder. Understanding the psychology behind these behaviors does not mean excusing harmful treatment. You can recognize that someone's behavior may come from insecurity while still protecting yourself from manipulation, disrespect, or emotional harm. Healthy relationships require accountability, empathy, reciprocity, and the ability to tolerate another person's boundaries without retaliation. Real confidence does not require everyone else to feel smaller. Real self-worth does not collapse when someone disagrees with you, and genuine strength does not depend on constantly proving that you are superior. Sometimes the most revealing question is not how impressive someone appears when they are being admired, but how they behave when they are criticized, ignored, corrected, or told no. That is often where the difference between healthy confidence and narcissistic behavior becomes most visible.